Please welcome the hosts of this session, the lead of the IDG Hub Dialogue team, Erika Harpe, together with the Hubs and Network Coordinator, Pontus Holmgren.
Yeah, I am honored to serve what wants to emerge. And in this case, I'm talking about this global community of hubs and networks in the IDG ecosystem. Who here is, would say, I'm a part of this ecosystem? Yeah. And of course, also thousands of people online. So, the IDG Hubs and Networks community is, of course, aligning with the mission of advocating and integrating inner development into society. And we're also supporting the long-term strategy of the foundation, which is to, be able to contribute to this narrative shift that we are in such need of in the world. We're also very much building communities of practice and also supporting, both structural and policy changes in large organizations and governments. So, like Katarina said, it started kind of around 2002 in the spring, where we had watch parties that wanted to happen, and this thing just seemed to want to emerge. And it became like a global enlightenment process. This animation is created by some meta-modern hackers in the community. And it's based, actually, on real data for when the hubs or networks registered and from where. And at this time, we have more than 630 hubs globally. And it just wants to happen. And it's a movement of movements, because it seems like the IDGs has convening power. So other movements are also kind of part of this bigger movement that is the awakening. We're onboarding one new hub every day, which I think is quite cool, and that is done by the support of all the coordinators of hubs and networks who are helping out. And this system is self-organizing. And the self-organization is happening a lot based on language or different themes or proximity. For example, the India Collaboration Hub, organizing hubs in India. The Global Practitioners Network with almost 1,000 practitioners meeting monthly, both in the afternoons and mornings to enable all parts of the world to be part of it. And also the Global Coaches Network. It is like a mycelium that is created. So the hubs and networks are active in all sectors in society. It is about leadership. It is about connecting to the Sustainable Development Goals. It is about creating regenerative businesses, and it's about innovation. We'll talk more about that. And of course, also education. And I'm super pleased to also say hi to all the watch parties going out there. I don't know if we can get an image of the audience so that we can wave to the watch parties. What I know of, there are more than 50 watch parties in about 35 countries, but I don't know it all. Probably it is the double. And on top of that, thousands of people from hubs and networks. And yeah, it's my honor to be here with you, Erica. You're a social entrepreneur. You're an ex-banker and with international business background. And you are kind of managing to combine both the inner and the outer. You're also the author of Reinventing Yourself. And you're the co-founder of the IDG, the Netherlands IDG, and also the Hague Hub. And you and I had conversations early this year about how do we make the value visible of the hubs and networks.
Yes, well, we had conversations because we felt that this was actually, that the hubs and networks were actually an amazing value for this whole ecosystem. And why is that?
We want to have a short clip here.
We want to see, we have a clip.
Yeah, here.
The music was not the intention. So why are these hubs and values so amazing? They are so amazing because they represent pure potential. They represent collective intelligence. And I wanted to play this murmuration clip, which probably a lot of people know. Collective intelligence is a thing that happens in nature all the time. It enables birds to fly much further, for instance, than they normally could on their own. With people, it enables humans to tap into an intelligence that is higher than they can reach into individually. Collective intelligence is, for that reason, the holy grail of innovation. It's what everybody's looking for. And it needs spaces like these where people come together for a shared goal, what they care about, and they can see how they can serve that, as Pontus said. So what do these 630 plus hubs do? They bring the IDGs to life. These 10,000s of people are now in this network. They experiment, they explore, they create tools, games, books, communities, educational approaches, leadership approaches in all areas you can imagine, from business to NGOs to universities. In other words, they bring the IDGs to life. So this is what this amazing network adds to the IDG eco movement. On the one hand, we have the framework backed up fully by science. And on the other hand, we have the innovation, which are the little dots which are moving around like the murmuration of starlings. This is the potential. The potential is to create the new. As Ilya Prigozhin said, small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos have the capacity to shift the entire system to a higher order. This is what we're doing. So Pontus and I had this conversation. And actually, I also had a conversation with Thomas Björkman for the first time in January in the stakeholder meeting. And we said, what is a big untapped value so far? And he said, yeah, the hubs and networks. And I said to Pontus, let's make it visible. Let's map the context, as you saw on the slide. Let's map the cross connections. Let's map the sectors. And let's assemble the stories. Because we are human. We have always learned from stories. So today, you'll find stories on the House-based Summit page in the Story and Collaboration Garden. But more importantly, we are thrilled to share 4 amazing stories from the hubs and networks. So there is the Ukraine network, who will take us through resilience in the midst of war. There is the IDX Brazil, who will talk about responsibility and working with leaders. There's the Higher Education Circle, who will talk about reinventing education. And then there's the Asian Wisdom Network, who will bring us back to remembering who we are. But we also have a call to action today for you, because you here, whether you're here with us live or online, you're also part of this beautiful mycelium, as Pontus just called. We invite you to look around you with curiosity and generosity and see what is there that can be tapped into. And we encourage you to put that to act upon your ideas. Just imagine what we could create if we would come together to create this better world our hearts know is possible. This is where hope lies. And with this hope, I'll take you now, I'll introduce you to our first Harpe network, to Professor Dr. Julia Staltovna. She's a professor of intercultural management at the International Business School, Fresenius in Berlin. Together with one of our other speakers, Viviana, she's also a co-lead of the IDG Higher Education Circle and an active member of the IDG Researcher Circle. Julia is a co-founder of the Ukraine IDG network. And here on this stage, we invite her to share how Ukrainians are building resilience amid war with hope and bravery. Julia.
My big thank you for being here and for being invited to give the voice to everybody who is speaking to you today.
I'm going to do this super short.
I want to show you next month. In next month, it will be 1,000 days since Russia invaded Ukraine in a full scale, and 10 years since they seized Crimea against all the international laws and agreements. But here is the calendar for last month, for September. Our friends, our parents, our colleagues can be killed by any of those rockets that you can see in this calendar. And these triangles are the drones, Iranian drones, that fly from Belarus, and the artillery missiles that come from North Korea. They also can become killed by Russian military forces that are now united with the North Korean forces. So you can see the autocratic regimes are uniting in a very efficient manner against the democratic values. It's been 33 months since loss, grief, and trauma have become a part of Ukrainian everyday reality. 33 months of air raid sirens are constant reminders that everyone in Ukraine is a live target. Despite all of these endless attacks, Ukrainians respond with dignity, respond with agency, with resilience, and with collaboration. At this war that is aimed at erasing our culture, at erasing our identity, erasing our history, we stand to endure the cycle of catastrophic events that we do not have time to live through, because new rockets come every day. We don't choose the times we live in, but we choose how do we live those times through. In May 2023, we co-founded a Ukrainian IDG network so that we could gather together people who are facilitators, coaches, trainers, who are educators, who are opinion makers together, so that we provide the circle where we can all exhale, release the tension, release the load, where we can work together on the topics that we discussed together, the IDG topics, the loneliness leadership topic, partnership responsibilities, historical trauma, transformative resilience, whatever you name it. We want to be together, connected in a social tissue that holds us together, that holds the whole social tissue together. And I want to say a big thank you to all the global communities, value-based communities that are offering their courses, programs, collaborations to hold us and to be there as well. Since then, we've brought together 380 people, and we provide them with a place of a smaller circle of safety. In Ukraine, people rebuild immediately. They restore immediately. When one person fails, others comes very quickly to come and help. There is no time to wait or postpone. We have the lesson that we learn. Life happens here and now, every moment. We still live. Whether clearing debris in Chernihiv from another missile attack or offering emotional support, we practice community. We are a community of practice, and we hold space for each other because we understand we need to rebuild a future where we can live freely without colonial oppression and imperial destruction. We choose this way because we need something as simple and profound as home and homeland. And we understand that we are a continuation of our ancestors' battle that they've been fighting and we've been fighting, and we don't want our kids to keep on fighting the same battle. We also understand that beyond comfort zone and beyond fear zone lies the zone of learning. Learning together, and as you can see in bomb shelters and through power outages, these Ukrainians learn to lead together in reality as it is. There is no other reality. We need to rebuild and restore. The Ukrainian IDG hub that is known as a New Thinking School is not just a community. It is a place where leaders have committed to become a better leader so that they could lead veteran integration program, they could lead sustainable rebuilding program, helping the demining, restoring. There is so much to do. And this is where you can come in and help with all your networks, all your ideas, and all your relation. So what's needed in the new reality? The IDG helps us to understand critical thinking, systemic thinking, strategic thinking, creative thinking, inclusive thinking, art thinking, and acting. Integral inner development goes in action. Building up resilience became a matter of both collective and individual choices to survive and live. To live the rest of our lives as full as we can, as meaningful as we can. The choice is always there. The choice takes courage to make it. But there is also always a choice where you can make a choice to be you, make a choice to be yourself, make a choice to defend the right to be yourself. You can make a choice to think creatively and strategically. You can make a choice caring for other people, volunteer proactively, stand up and say, where can I help to the people who do need help? Where you can co-create and mobilize, and where you can persevere and act. A choice to stand together with democratic values. That's the choice. To hold space, to survive, to learn, and maybe to thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julia. So touching. So from Ukraine, we're traveling a few thousand kilometers to Brazil, and to Rafaela, who is the co-founder of the IDGs and the Brazilian experience. She's a human developer working also in international education. You are a network weaver, Rafaela. And you are also the initiator of the Florianopolis IDG Hub. And I am so honored to be working alongside with you as a global co-coordinator together with you. I'm happy to hear your story.
So we do need better leaders, don't we? In Brazil, we have a huge community of hubs. And when I initiated the hub in Florianopolis, we started to dream that we wanted to inspire other people based on our belief that the change we want to see in the world start from the inside out. We wanted to provide them with tools and engage this community to promote the change. We were a group of people who started to dream together. Alex and Maíra are here. Leo is watching us, and there are so many Brazilians here too, and also watching. Yes. And we then started to design this journey, and we have a common background on Theory U. So we designed it starting with the thinking dimension, introducing and talking about the meta crisis, talking about the IDGs and how we got here, then creating space for our participants to relate during this immersive experience we created, to get to know each other, to build trust, and then going into being. What are your core values? What is important to you? After that, we started to invite them to collaborate, looking into the SDGs and what are the limiting paradigms that brought us here to this moment, and what are the alternative thoughts that we need to nurture to create a better future. Later, invite them to action. Oops. How do I play this? Well, our immersion is held in nature. We chose to do that in nature because we feel it's the best environment for people to reconnect with themselves. It is a 3-day immersion, and we have leaders coming from the industry, from the private sector, from educational institutions, public institutions, consultants, facilitators. To learn together, we wanted to have multiple stakeholders as well as NGOs coming with us to learn together and see the system. What are the challenges and needs of all those different stakeholders? This is our first cohort that we had last year in December, and our second cohort in April this year. And the ripple effect, we saw the participants from our immersion is holding lectures, giving classes inside universities, bringing it to the B Corps movement, to the Conscious Capitalism Initiative. And we brought together the two cohorts to meet each other. And from this meeting, the community suggested, let's start a series of talks and inspire other leaders for regenerative leadership. And we've had a series of 6 calls already. And one of the outcomes of it was also that the largest oil company in Brazil has revealed their skills framework inspired by the IDGs. So let's not give up. Let's nurture hope, and we will be able to change this.
Thank you, Rafaela, for the story about Brazil. And now we're going to Australia with Professor Viviana Rodrigues. who is a transdisciplinary scholar and author of Agency in Poverty and War. She co-led the IDG Higher Education Global Circle, where she has woven IDGs across disciplines in Australia and Latin America. And Viviana will take us through what they're working on and what they mean with reinventing education.
Thank you, Erica. The burden and the weight on our heads and our reason overshadows the intelligence of our body and heart. This sculpture that you see here, The Weight of Thought, by Thomas Leroy, depicts our fragmented way of knowing in the education system. Over-standardized and linear conceptualized methods for teaching, learning, and assessing have resulted in the hierarchy of human expression. Our disciplines are fragmented and categorized and associated with value. Those using reason are seen as the one with power or more power. But what power I'm talking about? If power comes from the word potere, to be able, the potentiality to exercise it comes from building capacity, but also having spaces to bring and exert that energy. Oh. I don't know if it's working. Yes. Empowered to do something. In 2023, I co-initiated the IDG Higher Education Circle. This picture shows the speakers describing by Vivian Sang, one of the NICO facilitators that came together to co-create the IDG Australia Hub, a hybrid event in Sydney, inspired from and for the circle. Then in 2022, transitioned to the IDG Researchers Network, connecting with people from different levels of leadership who were creating programs in higher education. But this didn't start for me there. First, in 2020, with the Spanish core team taking the programs like Gaia and Theory U from the Presidency Institute to Latin America, a hub that has today over 900 members and 3,000 across the LATAM network. For these kind of initiatives happening in education across the globe, we need a community to relate and to share, the care to connect, and to cure what we know and how we know. This next picture shows that the structures of powers based on hierarchy increase the distance between us, diminish our capacity to relate. The community has power, but also you leaders to access and open the doors from the breaches of inner growth that comes from the heart. The power of human agency that enables those ways of expression to let them be, let them land just the way they are. The fragmentation of knowledge is in the education system. I taught for 4 years the course Peace of Mind and Peace in the World to peace builders, change makers, who are and become the leaders to decide on behalf of those who experience the unspeakable. They relate with collective trauma in that work. So to break the boundaries of linear education, I introduced embodied experiential learning, providing the permission to introspect on the internal processes and encouraging different language of expression, enable students to access and embody knowledge that cannot be expressed in words. They learn to see the unseen by allowing to learn differently. But, and yes, there is a but, there was the fear that exploring new ways of expression will affect their scores in their assessments. Indeed, our education system, innovative ways to welcome the created are abandoned after kindergarten. Hierarchically categorizing our ways of being authentic and how we learn has sacrificed our diverse, our rich ways of understanding our capacity to be. This next picture shows some hope. I know, you only see 3 people there. One is Yulia sitting here, and the other one is Fredrik Lindencronas, sitting somewhere, head of research. We enable spaces to come together once a month across the globe from Peru to Sweden to share experiences and vulnerability on the challenges that academics practitioners face to overcome when including inner growth in the curriculum, in the assessments, and in the culture of power of the universities. Today, the Circle has almost 500 members. We are a collective agency that co-leads, meets in the squares, and we met last night for the first time in person, the 3 of us, to transform, to nourish a community that cares about curing our way of learning, transforming the meaning of education for humans to flourish. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mariadi, you are the CEO and co-founder of Together for the Better Good, the longest email address I have in my inbox. You're also working with Blue Carbon Ecosystems. You are, like I am, half Dutch, but you're also half Indonesian. And you are a part of the Asia Wisdom Network. So please, take us through a meditation that will lead us into the break.
I don't know about you, but I have a lot of information in my head. A lot of emotions and a lot of feelings. So before we go to lunch, I would like to take you on a little journey. So if you like to sit in your chair with your back straight and your hands in your lap, and we're going to start a little bit funny. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, and we take a lion's breath out. And how does that go? We take it in, and we stick our tongue out. And we do that again. Take a deep breath in, and out. And return to our natural breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, and become aware of the temperature of the air that you breathe in. It's a little bit colder. And then out, it's a little bit warmer. And now take a deep breath in and follow that breath through your body, through your heart, and then you breathe out and it goes up again. And now let's do that again and follow the breath to your feet and let it go out. Visualize it going out through your toes into the soil, here in the circus in Stockholm, and with all our hubs and networks around the world, on their place, on this earth. And we all call it Mother Earth. And I read a story and it was called Mama Earth. And that's a different feeling, isn't it? So we breathe in and we touch Mama Earth. And Mama Earth embraces us, and we breathe in her energy. And the energy comes up through our feet, through our bodies. And now imagine we are here, we are standing on Mama Earth with all the people here, with all the people watching us, with the people of our town, our countries, our continents. And imagine we're holding hands. And now imagine the animals joining us of this earth. The animals of the land, the lions, our doggies, our cats, the animals of the ocean, the whales, the sharks, and then the flora, the trees, the Amazon we heard about, and then the corals and the mangroves, and it's all part of the now. We are present in that now. And now imagine that Mama Earth had generations before us. Our ancestors walked on this earth. Ancestors from far, far, far away, long, long before us. And maybe not so far away. And they are standing and joining us in that circle. Your ancestors, my ancestors. And take a deep breath and watch on your left, through your mind's eye, and what's on your right. And hey, maybe you recognize somebody, an ancestor you knew, you didn't know. And look at their faces. And now listen. What do they want to say to you? And maybe this comes in a word or a feeling or a sensation. But listen. Listen. And take a breath and look left and right and thank your ancestor. And take a deep breath in and feel the temperature a little bit colder when you breathe in and a little bit warmer when you breathe out. And start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. And move and open your eyes. And if you want, you can take the hand of your neighbor, look them in the eye, and say thank you for being here. Thank you.
That was great. Hey, that's David.
Any closing words from you, Pontus or Erika?
I just feel so proud not only of us, but of all the others. This is just a small sample of everything that is going on out there. And it's happening.
Let's hope the hubs and networks keep on flourishing. Thank you so much.